about chaos in Manhattan as there was an active pew-pewer that had an assault rifle walking around Park Avenue and 52nd Street. We're going to be talking about a ceasefire between Cambodia and Thailand. We're going to be talking about Trump and some remarks that are being made on multiple things, from the trade deal to Gaza, and then other geopolitical events and issues that are going on for the current day. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. There is an affiliate link in the description if you are possibly considering moving your IRA to gold and silver. This is one of the highest rated companies out there, and we hope that you would give them a chance. All it takes is an educational moment, and they will take you through it, should you want to go forward. This is your Intel and your crisis report for July 28th, 2025. We hope that you will check out the other links in the description. Ursula von der Leyen said LNG from the U.S. is more affordable and better than a pipeline gas from right next door. Trump says, I'm very disappointed in Russian President Putin. I'm reducing the 50 days I gave him. He set a new deadline for Putin to be 10 to 12 days from today. After this, most likely NATO will start using long-range weapons to hit weapons factories across Russia. Conjecture, not sure, but of course that's possible. More than 1,000 rabbis have accused Israel of using hunger as a weapon, according to the Times of Israel. Rabbis and Jewish scholars from the US, UK, EU, and Israel have signed an open letter claiming that the Jewish people are facing a serious moral crisis. Trump is lecturing Europe that they are destroying themselves after imposing a forced devastating deal on them. Many people are saying that this deal is very much a win for the US and hurting the EU. Europe is a much different place than it was 5 to 10 years ago, Trump said. They've got to get their act together. If they don't, we're not going to have Europe anymore. This is a magnificent part of the world, and you cannot ruin it. You cannot let people come in here illegally. Dmitry Medvedev said to Trump, Russia isn't Israel or even Iran. Trump's playing the ultimatum game with Russia, 50 days or 10. He should remember two things. One, Russia isn't Israel or even Iran. Two, each new ultimatum is a threat and a step towards war. Not between Russia and Ukraine, but with his own country. Don't go down the Sleepy Joe road, he said. President Donald Trump now claims his name may have been deliberately planted in the Jeffrey Epstein files. Israel's indefinite war in Gaza has no justification. Two-state solution is a must, according to the French foreign minister. Gaza today is charnel house where the corpses are looking famished and the spirits are becoming desperate. Speaking on urgent need to recognize Palestine and reach two-state solution. A huge disaster was averted in Spain after a Spanish F-18 nearly hit a crowd after a bird swarm forced a wild maneuver. It was on a beach and the jet pulled up just in time. Thailand and Cambodia agreed to an immediate and unconditional ceasefire starting at midnight local time July 28th, following peace talks mediated by Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim in Putrajaya, Malaysia. The agreement reached between Thailand's acting Prime Minister Phumtham Wachayachai and Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Manet. Trump says that Iran has been sending out nasty signals, and if Iran starts nuclear again, we will wipe it out fast. Trump, on regard to the Israeli hostages, says they're a shield. You're not going to get them back unless you're very ruthless, very violent. It's a bad situation to be in. Ghislaine Maxwell pressed ahead with an appeal to the Supreme Court on Monday, seeking to overturn her conviction on the grounds that she was unlawfully prosecuted for doing trafficking maneuvers with young children. Of course, this is part of the Epstein files and everything that is going on with him. Trump administration mandates federal agencies to protect religious expression at work, per a new memo allowing workers to display Christian crucifixes or Jewish mezuzahs at work. The United States has transferred its thermonuclear bombs to the United Kingdom for the first time since 2008, according to Bloomberg. Lindsey Graham has threatened Russia with stricter sanctions and global isolation after Trump's 10 to 12 day ultimatum. Also, it's threatened sanctions and tariffs against China, India, and Brazil, which are heavily involved in trading with Russia. Netanyahu will propose to the security and political cabinets annexing parts of the Gaza Strip to keep Smotrich in the government, according to Haaretz. Netanyahu's plan has called for giving Hamas several days to agree to a ceasefire or begin annexing parts of Gaza. Netanyahu has told his cabinet ministers that the Trump administration has green-lighted the annexation plan. Hebrew media reports that an Israeli settler has died from his injuries sustained during an Iranian missile attack in Rehovot, central Israel, from June 15th, the 12-day war. Speaking yesterday with Fox News, U.S. Secretary of State and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio stated that President Trump is growing increasingly frustrated and losing his patience with Russia and Vladimir Putin regarding continually stalled negotiations to end the ongoing war in Ukraine, adding that the time has come for some action. Marco Rubio says China is giving Russia as much aid as they can get away with without being discovered. The Europeans have caught on to this. There is no way that Putin could have sustained this war without Chinese support, particularly buying his oil. I think the Chinese have an incentive to see this war go on. They think that the longer this war goes on, it'll distract us and prevent us from focusing on other parts of the world that they're interested in. Massive cyber attack has hit French defense sector. Naval group suffers a historic data breach. Major cybersecurity breach has struck the French defense industry, with Naval Group, France's premier shipbuilding company, emerging as the primary target. The attack has also indirectly affected Thales, Dassault, and Safran systems. According to initial reports, over 13 gigabytes of internal data has already been leaked publicly. Total data dump exceeds 1 terabyte. Leaked files reported include full source code for combat management systems used on French frigates and nuclear power submarines, weapon system software, simulation environments, internal emails, user manuals, network documentation, restricted content related to aircraft, including the Rafale M. The hacker, using the alias Neferputu, gave Naval Group a 72-hour deadline to respond. When no agreement was reached, the entire data set was dumped online for free, suggesting the motive may not be financial, but rather ideological or political. Naval Group has issued a brief statement saying it is investigating the incident, while experts are already beginning to verify the authenticity of the materials, many of which appear to be legitimate. We've discussed this before on here. This is a major, major data breach. The fact that they have nuclear submarine workups and combat management systems of French frigates and full source code, amongst other things like internal emails and network documentations, means that this is a major hack, and the fact that they did not do something to get it back or even care just speaks volumes. It was a stupid thing for them not to do. Whoosh. Before the EU agreed principle to terms of Donald Trump for the EU-USA trade deal, European Union tried to convince China to open up its market to European business. From the start, EU-China summit began poorly. The EU delegation, comprising Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Council Antonio Costa, and the High Representative for Foreign Affairs Kaja Kallas, were brought by the bus to the Chinese authorities, a move which was interpreted by observers as a mockery of EU leaders. We documented that here. Meeting presence yesterday. A U.S. Coast Guard aircraft responded following detection of a Chinese research vessel off of Alaska's coast. For over 150 years, Americans have counted on the Coast Guard to uphold U.S. sovereignty, provide national security, and promote economic prosperity in the Arctic. Through Operation Frontier Sentinel, we continue to deliver on the commitment. Coast Guard is America's only surface presence in the Arctic, a robust icebreaker fleet made possible by historic investment in the Coast Guard will secure U.S. access, security, and leadership in the growing zone of strategic global competition, according to the USCG. Gunmen killed 5 security guards and wounded 1 other person in a mass shooting at a popular fresh food market in Thailand's capital on Monday, according to police. Russia is now, for the first time in history, fighting the entire West alone, according to Foreign Minister Lavrov. Dollar has risen on EU-US trade deal, but European stocks have turned sour. Cyber attack has occurred on Russia's Aeroflot grounds, dozens of flights. And here we are, shooting reported in Midtown Manhattan, New York. Photo of Manhattan active shooter. Manhattan shooting suspect found dead, believed to have died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to reports. Manhattan shooting suspect was reported at the building that houses Blackstone's global headquarters and the National Football League. Manhattan shooting suspect has been identified as Shane Tamura, Las Vegas native. A gunman opened fire Monday outside a Midtown Manhattan building that houses the National Football offices, some of the country's top financial firms, killed an off-duty New York City police officer working security in the building, and 4 others, sources told the Associated Press. More to come on that. Peter Strzok, who was the center of efforts to overthrow President Trump's administration, has wiped all of his ex-posts clean. Attorney General Letitia James is suing the Trump administration in an effort to keep illegal immigrants eligible for SNAP benefits. 5 suspects have been charged in connection with the brutal mob attack on a white couple at a Cincinnati jazz festival. New York Police Department, female officer was killed amongst 5 shot in the New York City shooting. Gunman dead at Blackstone building. Just hours after the ceasefire, the Thai army has been accusing Cambodia of violating the ceasefire. PayPal will roll out Pay with Crypto feature, allowing businesses to accept more than 100 cryptocurrencies at checkout. French company Helio-Rec has received approval in principle for a level 2 from Bureau Veritas Marine and Offshores for its floating solar panels that can withstand winds up to 99 miles per hour and waves of up to 6.5 feet. The company aims to convert underutilized water surfaces into clean energy sources, supporting decarbonization strategies in coastal regions globally. Attack drones will be deployed to select U.S. schools to stop school shooters in emergencies by Campus Guardian Angel, a company founded by U.S. military and defense contractors. China is going to offer parents $500 annually per child under the age of 3 in a move to boost birth rates. China is facing a demographic crisis with its population declining for the last 3 years. This is something that is happening across the greater world. Youth leader of Germany's Green Party hints armed resistance might become necessary against the growing AfD party. Trump's administration plans to announce a proposal to eliminate the U.S. government's authority to regulate greenhouse gases, which could remove regulations that limit emissions from various industries, including power plants and automobiles. New York Police Department Commissioner has provided a detailed timeline of the New York City shooting. Shane Tamura, traveled through Colorado to New York City, and deliberately took the elevator to the 33rd floor of Rudin Management. He drove through Colorado on July 26th, passed through Nebraska, Iowa on July 27th, New Jersey at 4:24 p.m. on July 28th. Multiple 911 calls at 6:28 p.m. Eastern. Shane Tamura of Nevada entered the lobby with an M4 rifle. He killed an NYPD officer. Security guard was shot behind a pillar. Another man was shot in the lobby. Shooter calls elevator, spares the woman exiting, goes to the 33rd floor, fires rounds on the 33rd floor, walks down hallway, and then unalives himself. Leader of the Alternative for Germany and leader of German opposition, Alice Weidel, condemns the EU-US trade deal as a slap in the face of every European consumer and producer. The EU has even been brutally taken for a ride. 15% tariffs, obligation to source weapons and energy from the USA are not an agreement, but a slap in the face to European consumers and producers. And the NYPD officer killed in Midtown Manhattan high-rise shooting has been identified as 36-year-old Didarul Islam. That is your crisis report for July 28th, 2025. Friends, this message has been brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. There's an affiliate link in the description should you choose to consider using gold or silver for your IRA. We also have other affiliate sponsors like OUPES and ITEHIL for their reverse osmosis systems, and then of course JASE and PrepperNow. Kevin Grip, good to see you, buddy. It's been a while. Friends, this is the way things are going to be going from here on the Crisis Report. We're going to be doing a Crisis Report brief, major headlines and such, 6 to 7 minutes, because human beings do not have attention spans anymore. And then we will do a longer form, 15 to 20 minute at 11:30 p.m. Eastern every night going forward, unless, of course, I have an engagement with music. There is the Substack. If you are interested in checking all this information out and, say, going to the website of where this is all on Substack, okay? PrepperNow.substack.com, as well as other links and everything else. We're to 499 subscribers on the Substack. Perhaps you would choose to be a 500th person. You can pay or you can get it for free. As I always say, I am the product. Other than that, I'll probably be going live with PrepperNow here pretty soon. We're getting everything organized and such for the new rollout of things, because we have to do it because, well, things have been changed on a numerous levels on this platform, and so to survive as a channel, you have to do things a certain way. So this is your update. This is your crisis report. These are all online. You can access them, you can read them, you can share them out. Hopefully you will share these out. Hopefully you will like and subscribe and share and all that. But from here on out, folks, besides this few minutes at the end to kind of explain how things have changed, we're going to be doing things very official and very by the book in business. If you want my personality and my usual sarcasm and stuff, might I suggest going over to the live streams on PrepperNow that'll be starting here much earlier than they've been, but we'll get there here in a moment. But other than that, friends, that is your update. God bless you all. Really appreciate your support and everything else. Please hit the like button and do all that, and we will see you on the next one.